Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Sports Card Madness. This is LZ, and as always, I am here with Nick. And me and Nick are excited today because today we've been trying to get a legit breaker on this show for a while, and we finally have one. Have one today. We have Manu from Hobby House. She is she's the real deal when it comes to breaking. I mean, you should see some of the cards that she's pulling. It's ridiculous. But yeah, she's a member of the Hobby House. She's a hobby enthusiast, and we're very happy and lucky to have her today. So, Manu, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Larry and Nick. I really, really appreciate you guys having me and excited to be here. Happy Friday, everyone.
Yes,
Happy
and
Friday.
happy Friday. And Manu's going to bring the energy today. We
Yeah.
need some energy. So we're happy to have her. Manu, before we get into it, I would just love if you could explain like what is Hobby House?
So, Hobby House, we are a breaking company. It's literally, I think the name says about it a lot, right? The Hobby House. We want to be the house of the hobby. Come for the Hobby House for all your hobby needs, right? That being basketball, that being football, that being baseball, or any other sports that we work with. So, we're a breaking company. We run in two different platforms, Why Not and Fanatics. We're live 7 days a week. And we all love sports cards, man. We all truly love sports cards.
That's great.
Awesome.
All right. Excellent.
So you know what stood out for me? I love going on Whatnot and just watching this stuff like from afar. I don't really take part in too many breaks. I'm kind of like afraid. You can help me with that later on in the pod, but you are always so it could be like a 3 hour break and you're always so excited. It's like watching I don't know, like somebody at the craps table at the casino. You're like, yeah, roll the dice. You're kind of like, let's break this, let's do that. And it's been pretty cool. And if you haven't noticed, there aren't a ton of women in the hobby, and it's been kind of cool and refreshing to see someone like you um, have so much fun with breaking. So, how did you end up in how did you get into this?
Right. So I used to work, I've been in the hobby for about 2, 3 years, so not really a long time. The hobby for a lot of people really started. I know you guys do vintage, so you've been doing it for a little bit, but really started popping off for people during the pandemic. That's when I really got into it. I used to run a lot of back end, so like inventory, shipping, employees, and not much actually hands-on breaking. So when I got brought on to the hobby house, they hired me as a breaker. So that was definitely a surprise. I've been involved, I was major Dolphins fan, major Miami Heat fan. So always a sport enthusiast in itself. So it was exciting. I just had my 1 year anniversary at the hobby house actually last week. So 1 year as a breaker officially. And that's how I got into it. Just through a friend, then you a friend, then you're a friend, and then I got a job in the hobby, started growing to that, and then that got hired as a breaker. So you're definitely right about the part that there isn't a lot of women in the hobby. However, I feel like not only the Taylor Swift effect or the Caitlin Clark effect, there's just more and more women and little girls getting into sports and collecting cards and opening up the doors. So people like me, people like Mama Breaks, and a lot of other women out there just really open the door for more women to come in and be a more comfortable place for everyone, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it makes a ton of sense. So if a woman or even a girl like you referenced is thinking about doing this, like I'm curious for you. So you've been doing it for a year. How did the beginning go? Like how did you do like right away? Like and then you built up and you're great. But did you start with this confidence that you have or did it take a while?
Definitely didn't start with this confidence that I have, but I've always been very passionate, right? Like Nick said, it could take 2, 3 hours, and even though I've been in it for a little bit now, I've always been very passionate. I really enjoy what I do. I really enjoy sports cards, and I really enjoy sports itself. So like for me, it's always like actually exciting. Like I get excited about the card, and it's not just about the money or the comps or anything like that. So the passion, and the hobby itself, I mean, it's beautiful to see this community growing and growing and growing, gets more and more talked about, whether
Mhm.
like 3, 4 years, it's only baseball cards. People only know baseball cards, and now it's growing and it's getting in the conversation. We're seeing some $1 million cards out there. So it's awesome to be a part of it.
It's wild. Yeah, it is. And for those who do follow Manu or maybe you don't right now, um her Instagram, like she's like traveling, she's like hiking, she's like very active. So my follow up to that question is like, where does all this energy come from?
All right. So all the traveling and the hiking and stuff, that was
Yeah.
before the hobby, right? So
Oh, before the
yeah.
hobby. Oh, okay. You don't have the time anymore now. Now you're locked in,
So no, so
breaking.
I stream 6 days a week. I usually go on at night. So I usually start around 7:30, 8 p.m. and I go until 5, 6, 7 a.m. So
Whoa, I didn't
yeah,
realize that.
Oh boy.
I
yeah, it's
always,
a little difficult schedule. So it's early for me today, but I'm in the office already, so it's all good.
wow.
Whoa.
I mean, so I'm 43, so I go to bed at like 10. Okay. You know, I got kids, right? So I'll tune in and I just kind of assumed, you know, you started at 8. It probably ends at like 11, like most things, right? I did not realize that you were up to like 5 cranking this thing out. That's wild.
So what's
No,
what's the
no.
secret? How are you staying up that late with all this energy?
So I switched. The schedule is completely switched, and I
Yeah.
may or may not have a lot of Celsius on the side that may help me a
Uh-huh.
lot.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah,
Yep.
but it's interesting. I used to work the morning shift a lot, and then just moved on to the night. And it's there's just more action, you know. And we're in Florida, so we're kind of like at a time disadvantage. You know, if it's 3 a.m. here, it's only really midnight in California and even earlier in Hawaii, you know. So we really try to get those players. Usually I log off 5, 6 a.m. and then we'll go live again at 9, 10 a.m. and then we'll keep running every day.
Okay.
Wow. That's
All right.
cool. Gosh, it's
So a
almost like
lot of caffeine, everybody.
yes.
That's the secret. No
Red
shocker there.
Red Bull. What?
Cheers,
Oh
guys.
man, what are you holding up there? That looks
Oh, this is
crazy.
just a coffee cup.
Oh,
Oh,
all
okay.
right, all
It's a
right.
coffee cup. Okay.
Looks like a fun coffee
Too
cup.
crazy today.
All right, so Manu, not everybody that's listening probably knows what breaking is. I'm guessing maybe have to. Can you explain to me what breaking is like I'm a 5-year-old? Can you explain it to me? And then I have a follow-up question after you've done that.
Absolutely. So essentially, breaking is when you break, like in the name, right, a product or a case of product into different slots. So the most common way of breaking cards will be through teams, right? So let's say we have, actually I have it right here. I have a case of National Treasures first off the line, 23
Oh,
pack, right?
Wow.
I didn't even know, I
She's got
didn't
a
even know that
massive
that
case
fits
of
if I
those.
had my phone just laying here.
Yeah. Just
But
that was
anyway,
just like a
oh yeah, here's this case of, $10,000 boxes just
right.
stacked
Manu,
on each other.
what
That's a
is
great example. So great. We have this over
what's
here,
the
right?
value? What's the value of that box right there?
You have 4 boxes per case over here. You're looking more or less at $8,000 to $10,000 case. Oh, it's actually first off the line. It's going to be a little bit more,
Wow.
more than hot.
Wow.
So,
Wait,
anyways, for instance, we have this product over here. Let's just say a number by head. I'm not too sure right now. Let's just say a number $15,000 per case here, right? We have 4 boxes on this case. Let's say we're doing a case break. So we would break out these 4 boxes. This is basketball. So we have 30 teams in the NBA, right? So we would break this case into 30 different spots. So then you may ask me, okay, so how do we really price this out? Are they all the same? All the teams are the same price. Are the Miami Heat the same price as the Cavs? They're the same price as the Warriors? No. So we run pick your team style. So you get to actually pick your team in a break. But there's a lot of people that run random teams like you have seen on the app. So essentially breaking is just like the name, it's breaking down a product or a case of product into different slots, that being teams, that being players, that being parallels, or anything like that.
interesting. Wow. Sorry, I have 2 questions now. So what is the difference between first off the line and just any other one? And why is first off the line slightly more expensive?
So first though, so there's usually 2 main ones. It's like first off the line and hobby. And then you have your other variations like your fast breaks and your H2s and whatnot. So first off the line is usually a premium hobby, right? In some products, for instance, National Treasures, NFL. First off the line, you have Stars and Stripes RPAs, which are photo exclusives. So you have photo exclusive cards, and usually the patches are a little bit better. It's the cases are a little bit more juiced, but it is a very big difference price point usually. So sometimes depending on the product, it's not really worth it. For instance, this year was really cool for 22-23 basketball flawless first off the line. So we're looking at Paolo Chat rookie year just last year.
Yep.
They added a Bill Russell one-of-one exclusive patch with another player. So that was only out of first off the line. Those are super cool. I can pull up a
Oh,
picture and show you guys later. So it's a
wow.
dual patch. There's a bunch of different players like a Bill Russell, Giannis, game worn dual patch
Mhm.
one-of-one. So
Did
that
you
was
pull
that.
any of those?
So we didn't actually rip a lot of first off the line. I call it
Okay.
photo just to try to be funny.
Yeah.
Photo. We ripped a lot of hobby. And we have the last case in the house actually, which we're gonna do a last off the line as a joke.
Okay.
I love it. That's awesome.
Nice.
All right, so last question on this. You're doing a good job because I feel like I'm 5 getting schooled here.
Are you
Um,
really though? Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
it's good. This is
Yeah.
very helpful. I
Mhm.
had no idea. Like, I thought I knew. Like, I didn't even realize first off the line existed. All right, so on one of your breaks, I was there. It was like 8 p.m. or whatever. I saw, the Celtics were $1,000 and the Cavs were $300. I think I know the answer, but can you explain why that is?
Absolutely, absolutely. So like I was saying, the way that we price these, we don't price our teams equally, and the reason is it truly depends on what each team has to offer, right? So, for example, let's use the Celtics. Celtics last year didn't have really a big rookie in the roster, right? This year they have Jordan Walsh, which is not like a top 5 rookie, but he's out there. He's a great
Yeah.
player. So last year, if the Celtics, for instance, only had Jalen Brown patches, a couple base cards, they're not going to be priced too high. You know, why were they $1,000 on the flawless 22-23 last year when they didn't have any rookies? Because Jason Tatum has a logo man. Jason Tatum has a dual logo man with Carmelo Anthony, which is like game worn. Larry Bird has a lot of autographs. Paul Pierce has a lot of autographs. So it truly depends on the checklist, right? Um, the Cavaliers, for example, I think they were about $500, $600. They have a triple logo man live with LeBron James, Kyrie, and Kevin Love. So like a championship triple logo man, which is
Wow.
game worn and super exciting. So it really depends on what each team has to offer in each product, right? So Panini drops, I know that's might be one of the follow-up questions, but Panini drops a checklist for each product. Sometimes what would happen is that first off the line will drop early, like will drop before the checklist, and you just kind of ripping blind and you estimate, who signs and who doesn't sign. But every product will have its own checklist. Tops actually does even the most. Tops tell you the odds of pulling certain cards and certain parallels out of the whole entire product. So it's interesting to see.
Oh, wow. They'll actually tell you the
Okay.
odds. I know they
Yeah,
used to
they
do
were.
that in like the 90s on the back of the pack. They'd have like insert cards. They say one in every whatever 10,000 packs or something. But I hadn't really seen that on the back of like the Panini stuff lately. So that's cool that they share that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Not Panini tops though.
Oh,
Panini
so
doesn't do
tops.
it.
My
Yeah.
bad. My bad.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Going off of this is great education. This really was. And going off of it. So for the audience, so actually not even for the audience, for me, I'm going to be selfish here. So for me, I want to give you 3 different scenarios. The first one is if I had $50 to get into a break tonight, what would you recommend I do?
So right now with the Wambi market, the alien, of
Mhm.
course, it's
Oh,
the ceiling is crazy. So there is
Yeah.
even, I don't know if you guys are familiar with mega or blaster boxes. Those are like
Mhm.
retail lot level of hobby and stuff like that. So Wemby cards are selling really well, even base cards or anything like that. So the entry point for a mega or blaster prism break of 23-24 basketball would be around there. So I'll try to get into a break like that, try to either get the Spurs on a random team or try to maybe buy the Heat on a pick your team and try to chase Triple J color. That's what I would do myself.
Okay. All right. So that's 50. That's good. All right. So that's a good price point for really anybody to get into with the Megas and Blasters. Okay. Next, I have $500. What am I getting into?
$500. I would personally, well, you're a Patriots
Or a
guy, so
thousand. Let's
nowadays
500 to 1,000. I'll give
let's
you a
500
range.
to
Yeah.
honestly, for 500 to 1,000, I will buy a 2003 Net Pro tennis box where you have like Serena Williams, Nadal, and Federer rookies. That's what I would do.
Whoa. Wait a minute. What year is this?
yeah. Yeah. Let me,
2003.
2000 and what? 3?
2003, uh-huh.
2003.
but
That
did you
is
say
Nick.
national treasures? You just shortened it up, right? Was that
No,
Net?
Net Pro. So it's
Oh,
a
Net
tennis.
Pro.
It's a tennis product. Yeah. So
Got
you
it.
have like
Net
Williams,
Pro.
Nadal, and Federer rookie cards, which is
All right.
extremely cool.
So would
Okay.
that be getting into a break, or can I actually get a box for that?
You can get a box for that for
Okay.
anywhere around 500, 400 or $600.
All right. All right. So we're gonna drop it right now. That's the first ever tennis reference we've had on the show.
It is.
Nice work. Nice work, Manu.
We did it,
Okay.
guys. We
All right,
did
you
it.
get to claim it. We'll send you like a badge or a trophy or something in the mail
Yeah.
for that
A
one.
golden
All right.
I would
tennis
cherish
racket.
it forever. I would
Okay.
cherish it forever.
All right. I cannot wait to hear your answer to this one. If I have 10 grand, what are you recommending I do?
10 grand. I am waiting for 23 flawless football to drop. Actually, 23. And I'm taking the Dolphins in about, by my calculation, should be 20 cases. And I'm
Okay.
hunting A-Chain. I'm hunting Tua. I'm hunting Tyreek. And I'm hunting my boys.
Nice.
Wow,
Your
all right.
boys, right?
Your
You're
boys.
a Dolphins fan, right?
Yeah.
I'm a sad Dolphins fan. Okay.
That's okay.
I'm a sad Dolphins fan, but we're gonna get there. We're gonna get there. Haven't
We
seen
always
any.
we
Well,
always
the
lose
tables
down
have
there.
turned.
So yeah,
And the
exactly.
tables have turned. We talked about it before, and me and Nick are Patriots fans, and we're now sad Patriots fans. So I'm sure you're enjoying the fact
I'm not as
that
sad as you guys, but
yeah.
I like that idea though. You drop the 10K instead of just getting a box. That's boring. You buy these expensive spots and just go hunting, like the way
exactly.
you described
So
it.
that's the beauty
Yeah.
of breaking and the beauty of doing pick your team. So you guys are probably very familiar with random teams, like I mentioned, which is like
Mhm.
you're bidding and you get a random team, right? So you can get a top team for a small fraction of the price, or for that price, you can get a very bad team that you could have bought in 10 times over. But anyways, so in the pick your team style, that's the beauty of it. You don't have to come here and buy this $10,000 case. You can buy your team, or you can buy a few teams. Like let's say you do your checklist research and dude, the Dolphins have a lot of autographs. Like, hey, I'm a Patriots fan, but they don't have a lot of stuff. So I'm gonna go with the Dolphins here, right? And you can just get a piece of that break. And that's the really beauty of breaking. You can get, instead of getting one case, I can get into 20 different breaks with that money.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's
wow.
awesome.
Yeah, that's
Cool.
interesting. You bring up checklist research. I know LZ's got a big question about that later on. So we talk about, like, there's a lot of one-on-ones that fly around. I feel like every day, especially you guys, you're always yanking like a one of one. You have like good luck or something. I saw like a Chet Holmgren one. I saw some dual one you were pulling, but you pull a lot of one-on-ones. How do you update the audience so it's like fair? I can imagine a noob just kind of like, all right, I'm going in. I hope I get a one of one, but like it's already been pulled. You know what I mean? How do
So-
you is that like public information? Like, how do you track that?
So for the high-end products, the most part, like the Logo Mans, the Shields, like the True Prism one of ones, they're really like really high cards. It's usually for us that are constantly breaking and constantly active in breaking pages and like that, he always pops off. There's always news you can always see around. There's a few pages that do a great job keeping track of Logo Mans and Shields. There's Hobby's Best Card on Instagram. So I try to always have like a checklist printed where I cross them off. But that's more really for the high-end product, For the lower end product and for other stuff, it's just really eBay and other marketplaces where before my shift, I'll go really quickly. I'll look it up, see, hey, there's, I haven't seen any one of ones yet. I see only 2 gold. So there should be another A live or things like that. There's a lot of cards, massive cards being pulled in China right now because they're going through crazy volume. So it's very interesting to try to, see what's been hit over there and what's been hit over here and how to keep track. So.
All right, I've got a business idea. I think it sounds like you're going to a lot of different places for this information, and the information is also in China, which may not be easy to get. I bet you it could be an Instagram profile, it could be a Facebook group, it could be a website. Somebody could do the legwork and yank what has been pulled with photos in one centralized place. That would be bananas. Would that be helpful to you?
So awesome. Just one, and like the software and AI nowadays, it shouldn't be too hard where you could like just pull from every single like marketplace out
Yeah.
there and see and match.
It's all public.
But
You guys are
I
always
would-
sharing the pictures, right? Like, it's, I mean, I guess there's some secret stuff going on, but
can we get a meeting on this?
Yeah.
well, we did an episode way back with Dr. Collectible, and we talked about business ideas in the hobby. And this screams to me like you were just talking about a really painful path to get this information. Somebody else can take that painful path and then, charge for it, or maybe not even charge for it. Just get
And make a
followers.
business out of it, essentially. Yeah.
Yeah.
And by the way, awesome, Dr. Collectible is one of the greatest guys I've met.
Oh,
He's
yeah.
been to the office. Shout out to him.
He's
He's
so cool.
He's a 10 out of 10 guy.
He's got his own
he
card
really
now.
is.
How cool is that? It's great.
That's awesome. Big Kobe guy, huh? Big
Oh,
Kobe
yeah.
guy.
Oh, yeah. So let's go back to, before I get to the question I wanted to ask, I do want to dive a little bit more into this business idea. But for you, so you said you're going on eBay and you're researching there. What else are you using to research? Like, any recommendations for anybody else, like where else they can go other than eBay, if you have any?
So eBay is going to be like your best to kind of take a generalized look on everything. I do have 130 point and out on my phone. Those two are great too. Sometimes you can just snap a picture of a slab if you're a card show, and then you just pull right up. It will show you the pop count as well, so you know how many PSA 10s of that card exist and so on. There's so many different tools nowadays. It's actually amazing to see the hobby growing so much. Yeah, so I think those three would be the main one. I think eBay, if you guys are going on eBay to check comps, make sure you always go into the sold tab, check the dates, because it's a very big difference between the asking and the actual sold, and that's just a little trick. But
yes, thank you for pointing that out. Me and Nick try to point it out every single episode if we can, but it's always good for somebody else to say it as well.
The head appraiser for PSA was on our episode, and he talks to people all the time. They have no idea, like Instagram, any of that stuff. And they have this estate that they got divorced or whatever, inherited. And they'll say, hey, I got this card. Oh my gosh, it's on eBay for $1 million. And he's like, dude, this card's worth like $5,000, like he's got to explain the difference. It's like, your house, right? You put it on the market for $20 million, but it doesn't matter,
Yeah. And that's essentially so I have two bosses, Josh and Rich. They're both great. But that's what it's funny you said that, because my boss, he has a really big like Lamar Jackson PC and Evan Mobley. So he would list his cards on eBay for like extremely high, because it's like PC, you don't want to sell it. But he goes, hey, if it sells, but it's there, it's listed. So very big difference from listed to actually sold.
Yeah. Yeah. With you being, so I'm going to put myself in your shoes. So obviously you're doing the craft of breaking. Do you also consider yourself an entertainer?
100%, 100% do.
Okay.
I think that especially live streaming, I think it's a mixture, right, of entertainment and sales. There's a little bit of everything. I think sometimes, depending on the stream and the product, the entertainment element will be even higher than the sales element, and they'll get people pumped up and ready to go, and that will get selling.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. So with you being an entertainer and you wanting to deliver the best entertainment possible, you had mentioned earlier that probably a fair amount of times, like you're getting the checklists, the list from Panini, from Topps, so you understand what's going to be in the box. But you did say that sometimes you're going into it blind and you don't know. So with your entertainment hat on, do you prefer to know ahead of time, or do you prefer to be surprised?
I prefer to know ahead of time, just for the fact that I could educate the people on what they're getting into, So obviously there is a gambling aspect already on what we do, but if I could add a little education onto the gambling aspect, and people could get in a little bit more rationally in a way, that would be better, So for instance, like the Jets always get disrespected in the checklist, especially this year. But then like Aaron Rodgers had like a collar blast, you know what I mean? And everyone was sleeping on the Jets, but we didn't know because the first off the line dropped a little bit before the checklist. So it's better to know. Some people go look, but it's better to know, just so you can just inform everyone. Because sometimes it's about the adrenaline, right? And people are buying this and that. But if you can tell them, hey, dude, he actually signs, this is a great team, or this and that, It's interesting because the CJ Stroud not signing and Wemby not signing with Panini, so it makes things a little bit more interesting too.
Right, you gotta keep track of that. That's a great point. That's a great point.
So the reason why I asked that is because like I was thinking of you and then I was thinking of me and Nick. And I tend to like to go into an interview not knowing a lot about who I'm going to interview because then I'm surprised. I just ask, I don't know, just better questions that way. But I totally get it for you. If you have all that research, if you know about these cards, then you can give them facts, you can educate them. So, all right, understood. Makes sense.
Yeah, very
Right, and
cool.
you can go over last year's, like if there is an Aaron Rodgers color blast, you can go over the last year's on eBay and check how much that color blast usually sell for on average and be like, hey guys, this is a $30 team. You have a shot of this that actually, you know what I mean? So it's better to know so you can just really tell the people and they can
I,
make better decisions.
I love that comment that the Jets just get disrespected on the
I
checklist.
know.
That's awesome.
I know.
Oh, the poor.
I think they have a couple solid picks this year though. So
Yeah,
maybe this
we'll see.
following year will be a
They
good.
always have a couple solid picks because they always suck. So,
Hey man, but it was actually very sad. Very sad what happened last
yeah,
year.
we
I'm
suck
not
too. So
Yeah.
what
not
can
a
I
Jets
say?
lover, but shit. But
Yeah, that was
hey,
terrible.
they had a pretty good class. I mean, they had what Brees Hall, they had Garrett Wilson, and then this year what Israel, just Israel, just never get checklist love. Patriots though, I always get checklist love. I always get checklist love.
Yeah.
Oh my god, I remember the Bailey Zapp hunt. I remember the Mac Jones hunt. As a matter of fact,
Mac Jones. I knew about him.
Oh.
I just forget it. I won't. I could go on a 1 hour rant about Mac Jones. I'm not going to do it. But yeah, that's funny. Bailey Zapp thing. That's
Spare
pretty
the
cool.
audience, Nick.
I will. I will. That's all good. Bite my tongue. But I didn't realize people were Bailey Zappi hunting. That's awesome. Oh man.
I mean, rookie QBs. There's
Yeah,
always
of
a big
course.
speculation for rookie QBs, especially
Mm.
before the season starts.
Right.
So
You want their first card. You want the first card in the best set. It makes sense, right? Yeah, it's cool. It's funny the entertainment aspect of this too that LZ was talking about. I tried a whatnot show just with my son messing around, and I'm just like comparing that to your show. You have like dolphins in the background swimming. You have a fish tank. You got like your logo, but it's not just your logo. It's like it's all neon and stuff. And then you got like just bumping music. Could be Sublime, anything. It's great. Like I could see why somebody would just kind of throw that on and just watch TV and like have that there too. So yeah,
yeah,
well
we
done.
try to make an environment. Like I always stream games or different things. I know we have UFC 300 coming up tomorrow, which is huge. So we're definitely gonna have that on the
Yeah,
background.
that's so smart.
Yeah,
So
we do
smart.
karaoke, we dance, we do all kinds of
Whoa.
stuff. But the back end team really does a great
Karaoke.
job on
I know.
putting
I don't
it.
think I don't think I've stayed up late enough for the karaoke.
No.
That's the
Oh yeah,
problem.
that's late night. That's like the late night show.
That's the 3 a.m. to 4
Yeah.
a.m. Like you don't have to
Yep.
go home, but you can stay here on whatnot type of thing. All right.
Exactly.
So I had one other question about communication between breakers. So I imagine you probably help each other out, but there's also a little bit of competition, right? Who wants to pull the best thing and all of that. Do you guys actually talk to each other and share like what's been opened, or have you found other breakers kind of like get quiet about something they pulled, or does everybody just kind of share it?
So usually because of Instagram and all of that, obviously everyone just shares. So you just kind of know like, oh, they hit this card, they did this card, they hit this card. But I think that overall there's a lot of competition in the community and not everyone is like that. But I truly believe that if everyone comes together, it's a better hobby, right? So we have a lot of breakers down here in South Florida. So very close to the Pool Wax people. Shout out to them. They're great people out there. So we always try, to not work together really or call out collab, but actually have good friends in the hobby or friends that are breakers that actually feel what you go through and have tips and we can help each other out and build each other out and talk about new releases and talk about products and talk about best pulls and stuff like that. So
Cool.
there's definitely a lot of there's a big community of breakers. There are friends in the hobby and I see it growing day by day. And yeah, it's awesome. But definitely definitely a lot of competition too.
Oh yeah, I can imagine.
Yes, there is. Yes, there is. Okay, we are getting to our final segment of the show, Manu.
All right.
We are going to play Would You Rather.
Oh, here we go. That's fun.
Okay. So I'm first up. Me and Nick are going to go back and forth. I want to know your first reaction to these. All right. So you have $1,000 to spend. You either have to buy 2 cards worth $500 or 10 cards worth $100. What route are you going?
Probably do 10 cards worth 100, just more liquid and easy to get rid of.
Okay.
I like that. I
All
like
right.
that. I like your style. Like
I think I would do the same thing.
you really know what you're doing with. Yeah, I'm going to be using you offline for a lot of advice. I can just tell, like, you know
Please do,
everything.
please do.
Yes.
Listen, I don't, but I'm always willing to learn and always willing to share my opinion. And it's awesome to connect with you guys. Truly, it's a pleasure.
All right, so here's my question. This one's fun. You get to open a flawless box, but you have to give away the cards. Can't keep them. Or you get to open a blaster or a mega blaster and keep all the cards. What do you choose?
Flawless and giveaway. Just the fun of opening a flawless briefcase is just that comes the excitement. It's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing.
Yeah,
Oh,
you'd be
it's a
like
beautiful
Santa.
thing.
You'd be like Santa Claus. Like here's a one of one NFL shield. Here's a logo man. You know, whatever. It's crazy.
Let me I have a empty flawless briefcase. Let me show you guys so the audience know what we're talking about.
Yeah. Let's
Okay.
do this.
Oh man, they were shipped out, guys. But maybe we'll insert a little picture.
All
That's
good.
all right.
All
No, that's
good.
all right.
Well, for the audience, she attempted to find this, but she couldn't. So I guess we're on to the next question.
Yeah, because they're valuable, right? Someone already
Yeah.
scooped them up in the hobby house.
They are. The empty briefcases will sell on eBay for 50 plus, but we'll ship them out to customers and stuff like that.
50 plus. Nice.
Yeah. But for like an empty briefcase, I mean, what?
Yeah.
All right. So you choose
All right.
to give them away like Santa Claus. I like it.
Yeah. Okay. Next up, especially going off of the dolphins spinning in the background and karaoke and fish tanks. All right. You can only choose one. Your background music for breaking, moving forward, is either K-pop music or scream metal rock music. Have to choose one.
Oh my god!
Like the
we're
whole
rocking
show,
with
right?
K-pop. Rocking with K-pop. It's just gonna
K-pop.
get too violent in there.
Yeah. You start scratching up the cards.
The cards bit it up.
Oh,
All right,
man.
Nick, you're up for the final one.
All right, this is near and dear to my heart. And you mentioned you came. I think we talked offline that you came here from Brazil when you were younger and everything. So you're stranded on an island, and you got to choose between one: linguiça or chorizo.
Oh, we're doing
Chorizo.
linguiça.
Yeah,
We're doing linguiça, and if I have a little piece of bread too, that's rocking.
That's
Perfect.
it. Okay.
Yep.
all right, linguiça.
Linguiça it
That's what I
is.
prefer. Chorizo is a little spicy. I like the
Yeah,
linguiça.
a little too much. I like chorizo in like a fish stew,
Mm,
Ooh.
but other than that, I go with the linguiça as well.
yeah.
You guys had
So-
picanha before?
No,
Have we
I don't
what?
think
Okay.
so.
That's the next one on the list, guys. Brazilian steakhouse picanha. It's a different cut. That's all.
Mm.
We'll talk about it later.
Okay. All right. Offline.
When,
Offline
yeah,
discussion.
yeah. I was gonna say I've been down to Chile and I did go to a Brazilian steakhouse down there. It was pretty rad. I don't remember what things were called or what I ate, but it was awesome. So
But it was good.
yeah.
All right, everybody. So that is going to conclude our episode today. But we want to thank Manu for being here and joining us and really educating us on breaking and what we should be looking at, what we should be investing in. Manu, before we let you go, how can people reach out to you? How can they follow you? How can they watch your breaks? How can they get involved?
So you guys can find me on Instagram, the Manu.hobbyhouse. You guys can send messages, reach out, send me funny memes, whatever you guys would like. Make fun of my teams. It's all good. We're live on Whatnot. I am particularly live on Whatnot 6 days a week. It's the Hobby House. We run 7 days a week, though. We have a great team of breakers, so you guys can find us over there. We're also on Fanatics Live, the Hobby House as well.
Excellent.
Excellent. Many, many ways to follow Manu and
And-
get involved with everything she's doing.
Definitely check her out too. Like she's a lot of fun. If you're just chilling watching a show, throw it on for a few minutes. It's some pretty entertaining stuff, watching these breaks. Even if you're not going to break yourself, it's like good television.
It's a good laugh, man. It's a good laugh. It's what I like to tell people. Listen, we all live in a stressful life, stressful world. Everything moves so fast. So if we get to log in on the app a little bit and enjoy the hobby and I get to make you guys smile or anyone smile, I think that then that's worth something for me.
That's great.
But I appreciate you guys having me. It's been truly a pleasure. And hopefully in the future we can shake hands and even do this again.
Yeah,
Yes,
for sure.
we would love to.
I'll try to get on one of the breaks for real. I'll go for some Celtic stuff at some point. We'll see.
I'll give you a whole checklist right now. Okay.
Boom.
Love it.
Love it.
Love it. Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you for listening. And until next time.
Thanks
Bye,
again,
everybody.
Manu. Bye.
Bye.